My name is Rebecca MacKinnon. I am currently doing a Master's in Bio-Inspired Innovation in the Netherlands. And my Master's is an interdisciplinary program of science and design and innovation. And we look at basically how nature can inspire us to solve some of the challenges that we have as a society, and specifically with regards to the climate crisis and all of the effects of that crisis. So my research stems from basically being isolated here in New Zealand during the corona crisis and the pandemic. So what I set out to investigate is why people were going out to the parks when we were in this lockdown situation. And I wanted to investigate this concept called urgent biophilia. And it stems from the natural biophilia, which is our innate tendency and our innate love for nature and trying to fulfill our needs by going out into nature. And then urgent biophilia, it just proposes that in times of stress, in times of crisis, we actively try and seek out nature to demonstrate and to summon some kind of resilience in the face of that crisis. And so the project that I did was just a playful way of trying to investigate that hypothesis. And basically what I did is I just found the local park and I put up a number of jars where people could drop a stone into the jar that best related to their reason for going to the park that day. And I think it was just playful, and it had to be quite creative to keep everyone safe and not spread any disease. And that just became the basis of my investigation, and I followed it up a little with a survey, and it's just been a very interesting research project, not one that I had initially intended on doing. I had 2 phases of the project. I had initially set up 5 jars, and they were quite vague categories of mental well-being, recreation, inspiration, beauty, and education. And the result of that phase was just overwhelmingly that people were coming to the park to aid in their own mental well-being. At times, the jar was almost overflowing. I had a few flowers in there at times, and people, they just kind of wanted me to know that that was their main strategy for going to the park. When I updated the jars to elaborate more on what mental well-being might mean to people, it became interesting to see that people were going for their own stress relief, they needed upliftment, whilst at the same time recreation and sport were very important to people. And as a result of the questionnaires, I've come to understand those reasons a bit more, in terms of people really feeling quite locked inside of their houses and needing to find a space to escape, be alone. I think it stems down to a lot of reasons of people's routines being changed. Maybe they're a bit bored in their houses, but they definitely feel cooped up, and then nature gave them literally space to unravel.
I'm here for leisure.
And I put up the comments jar because I noticed people trying to send me messages. Some people would write things in the stones, they'd try and shape something out for me to read, and I couldn't understand it. So some of my comments were lots of gratitude, which was nice to receive. People just said thank you for this little thing that they could interact with. Others would share their experiences in the park, why they were deciding to go there, and lots of dog walking comments. Everyone wanted me to put up a dog walking jar. There were fun ones, like a mother or father must have written, "I'm so sorry, but my kids got hold of the jars and got hold of the stones," and I'd have to note on that day that the data might be a little bit mismatched. I can definitely relate to the feeling of being sort of in this lockdown stage of all of these emotions and needing somewhere to escape and to gain perspective again. And I think the urgent biophilia hypothesis was definitely relevant for me. I needed nature. I think it is deeply personal for each person, and I don't even know if I found all of the strategies that will help me yet. I'll just keep hunting for the ones that do. And I think that's what my advice would be, is to just keep hunting for whatever you can use to overcome some feelings that you're experiencing, and then practice that as much as you can. And don't be ashamed of what it is or what other people might be doing for their own coping strategies. What helps you cope is important. So I would say, look for it, practice it until you feel better and whole again.